Hey, what's going on, guys? It's that time of year again where we're doing our custom Christmas ornament model kit video, and this time I'm going to do a kind of easy one here with the X-Wing Starfighter model kit from Bandai, part of their vehicle model line. Because my Halloween project took a little bit longer than expected, I don't have a ton of time, and these kits are perfect for making into Christmas ornaments because they're small, simple, and you could choose to do barely anything with it and have it looking really nice, but we are going to paint this up, and this is the kind of kit that you can build and paint up basically in a day. I mean, depending on how much time you're actually putting into it. You know, you will need a few hours probably, but something like this should be pretty simple to just knock out pretty quickly. So I've built a couple of these in the past, but I've not built this one before, so looking forward to checking out the X-Wing here. You can see the instructions are printed on the inside of the box. We do have some stickers. We're not going to be using those. We're also not going to be using the included base plate just because we're going to be hanging this from the Christmas tree as an ornament, but you do have that included base, which is nice because it has a little ball joint there at the top, so you can kind of change the angle of the model kit. I might use that just to show you guys how that works because it is pretty nice if you're not planning on making a Christmas ornament out of your model kit. But here, as you can see, we've got 4 little runners in off-white. One of the great things about these kits is that despite their very small size, they are really nicely detailed, and you can see we have like these parts here are quite thin, so we're definitely going to have to be a little bit careful not to break those, but you do have a lot of nice detail on here. So let's just start off just by getting the kit put together. Alright, so here it is all put together, and just to give you guys an idea of the size, the wingspan is going to be about 7 centimeters there, nose to tail. It's a little bit longer, coming in at a little bit over 8 centimeters in length. As you can see, just kind of held in the hand. And then, yeah, we do have that included base here. If you did just want to use the base, there's a hole here on the bottom side. And it's kind of a shame that they don't include a piece to plug the hole if you didn't want to have it on the base. It would have kind of been nice, but maybe we'll put a little bit of runner in there just to plug that up. And then, yeah, I wasn't actually expecting this, but the wings do actually open up. I was expecting it to just be fixed just based on the size and the complexity of this model. Pretty simple, but as you can see, very nicely detailed. You even have a little R2 unit there in the top and everything. So as you can see, just straight out of the box here without doing anything to it. It's got some nice detail on it and makes for a pretty nice model. If you wanted to just do something bare minimum to make it look a little bit nicer, you could just panel line it, just give it a wash with some panel liner and clean that up, and that would help bring out all the details. But we are going to fully paint it, so let's go ahead and head out to the spray booth. Now for airbrushing this, I did decide to break it back down into 3 sections, the main hull and then each wing separately, just to make sure that I could get some good coverage of this black primer, which I'm going to be using as the base. This is just Mr. Hobby Surfacer Black. And the reason why I'm using black is that it'll give us a really nice dark base to then paint on, and that will just kind of really help the look overall, especially in this small scale ship model like this. You'd be amazed at how well that black base works just to set up for the paint to come next. And so for the paint then, just going to use this off-white color here, as I do plan on sticking to basically the original color scheme here for this, but for now we're just trying to get a base color down. And you can see I'm intentionally also going to not paint our off-white perfectly evenly, basically letting the black base act as a sort of pre-shading to give us a little bit of shading on this. On a kit this small, there's not really a whole lot of space to do techniques like shading and all that, but we're going to try to make it look pretty cool here. So now we're back, and you can kind of better see what I mean in that black base makes it so that as long as you don't spray a bunch of white or off-white paint inside these areas, any recessed areas will be much more pronounced, much more black. And as you can see, I kind of left these back thruster sections also kind of free from paint just to make those look a bit more like engines. So the detail is much more prominent just from that black base and then off-white over the top of that. So really looking nice. I honestly could just basically leave it like this and just put a wash over it. But of course we do have these color accents, and I'm not going to use the stickers, and I'm not going to go for 100% accuracy because honestly, I kind of don't really like all the little color apps that are on here, which are like, I guess, accurate to the design. And unfortunately, we only have this really tiny reference image here on the side for where the stickers go. So I'm going to replicate some of these color apps on here just by doing a little bit of hand painting, but not all of them. So for the red, I'm going to use this SMS anti-fouling red. It's kind of nice, kind of deeper, dark kind of red, very similar to that. For this blue section around the cockpit, I don't want it to be anywhere near like that dark of blue, so I'm going to use this blue-gray here from SMS, which probably isn't going to stand out too much. It'll be pretty subtle, I think, against this off-white, but I think that's much better than this much darker blue, which is the official coloring. And then for like the yellow bits, of which there's a couple of little bits that are kind of meant to be yellow, for that one as well, I'm just going to go for this tan color, Russian Sand, from SMS as well, just because, like I said, I want those color apps to be fairly subtle. This red is obviously going to stand out pretty heavily, but there's just a couple of sections for that. Now, for some of the color apps, those are actually just like panels that are outlined here. So basically I can just paint in the panel section that's meant to be in that color. For some of these, like these ones here, which go on the wings, those sections there on the top and bottom of the wings, that's not like a panel, it's just like a painted on detail. So for those, I'm gonna have to make a mask. And unfortunately, that actually means having to create 4 masks. But what I'm gonna actually do is use some masking tape here. I'm gonna use the sticker basically as a way to trace the outline here for this. Just stick that on the masking tape here, and I'm just gonna cut out around the red bits, and then the masking tape will then just become my mask, a negative of the sticker there, essentially. Next up then, we're gonna use some Panaline or black here on this, just basically gonna slop it on because we want this to look good and weathered. But of course we're gonna clean it up, but at least for now, it's gonna help bring out all those details. All right, then after using some Tamiya enamel flat black there for the canopy and getting everything all cleaned up, well, cleaned up as it's gonna be, I wanted to leave it obviously a little bit dirty just to kind of look the part. I did manage to break off one of the blasters there, whatever those are technically called, I'm not exactly sure. But I've got that here. I'm gonna have to glue that back on and just pray to God that it stays in place with that tiny connection there. Really the kind of part that you really don't wanna break, but anyway, right now it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go get some top coat on it, and then we'll put a little hanger there on the top, and it'll be good to hang on the Christmas tree. All right, so I got some top coat sprayed on there. I think it's looking really good, but I think we could also make it look even better. So I thought, why don't we take some beam saber effect parts and add these here in the back out the engines. Like that would look pretty cool. These are way too long though, so I need to cut these down and kind of shape them a little bit to just be, you know, not quite so long. Maybe something like that. I think that length is good, and then I'm gonna have to drill holes in there just to be able to stick those in, and then I think we'll be all good. We just need to add the hook to the top, so let's go ahead and do that. there we go. There's our finished product, guys. Really happy with how this turned out. Like I said earlier, the great thing about these kits is just kind of how easy they are, especially if you got one of like the other kits in the series, like the Death Star or the Star Destroyer kits, just because those are basically just one color. You don't even have to worry about painting the little color apps on there. But even this one, with having to paint those, like I said, it still really only took like a matter of a couple hours all said and done to get to this point, and then even adding these little bits there at the back, which I'm really happy with how those turned out as well. So ultimately came out just perfect. The last thing to do then is just to go put it on the tree. And as we're wrapping up the video then here, guys, just want to say a big Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone, Happy New Year. Thank you all so much for your continued support. If you guys want to check out some more Star Wars kits like this, some more paints, tools, and supplies, you guys know you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store right down there below the video. And again, just really appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much for everybody that's liked the videos, subscribed. It really means a lot and really helps out a lot. I really can't thank you guys enough. So until next time, hope y'all are doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.